Yo, what is up everyone? Back here with another video. If you guys are watching this video, you guys will see it comes out on, I believe, Christmas Eve night. I am recording this on Christmas Eve. If you guys have been wondering where I am, I've been super freaking sick, man. Also Sierra too. We both have COVID, so it's been not very fun. This is the first day where I feel like I can actually record a video. So first off, Merry Christmas Eve to anyone watching this. If you are watching this on Christmas, Merry Christmas. But I'll probably have an upload coming tomorrow as well. Thank you guys for all the support. I just want to take a bit of this early section of this video to say I'm very grateful for all the support that I've gotten on these videos and the amount of, honestly, just support. Yeah, just honestly support and just love I've gotten from you guys, just watching all the videos, supporting. I am very humbled and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to do this and kind of work on this stuff and have you guys there supporting me. Um, it's something that I'm more grateful for than I can really put into words, but it's something that I intend to keep working on and doing over time. And I think being away and like not being able to record videos, like it's tough, man. Like it sucks because it's like one of my favorite things to do. And it's definitely given me appreciation for it and for what I do. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys and Merry Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas if you're looking at this on Christmas. And yeah, so getting into the video, you guys might be seeing, oh, well, this doesn't look like BDSP. It actually, we're just going to do it with the BDSP items. We're just not going to include the Sword and Shield items. I'm actually going to have, this is in Sword and Shield, but not BDSP. So we're gonna have a category for that. We're gonna go through those items. We're gonna rename the tiers. Best items, usable on a lot of Pokemon. Right? What's it called? Good items, but don't work on every Pokemon, right? Then you have niche items, good use. What's it called? Good uses on certain Pokemon, right? Certain Pokemon, but not too adaptable, I guess, right? Too adaptable. And then this will be okay, could work on a Pokemon or two, but not great, right? Or I'll say, what's it called? Average, niche, but useful items. Good uses on certain Pokemon, but not too adaptable. Average, could work on a Pokemon or two, but not great. And then this just B sucks. So yeah, we'll start over. This is a absorb bulb, I believe. I don't even think this is in BDSP. I'm just gonna put this in, what's it called? This is in Sword and Shield, but not BDSP. Also, I wanted to play Christmas stuff, but also too, I don't know if I can do that without getting like copyright. Give me a second. I'm gonna put on some music. But hopefully you guys have been doing good. What's it called? But we're going through all these items in depth. I know I sound a little sick. I apologize for that. I wish I wasn't as stuffy as I am, but that's kind of how it is. Here, let me look. Here, we'll do a Glitch X City, like, Christmas thingy, because that should probably be fine and not get me copyrighted or whatever. Actually, no, I should just do the lo-fi thing or whatever, because it's probably a little bit chiller. Yeah, I need to like listen to chill music. Usually I like listening to like kind of like hype music or whatever, but it is not that vibe for me right now. Also, let me make sure the stuff is not overpowering my voice a bit. Oh, sorry, I'm like editing my volume now. Alright, this should be fine for my volume. I lowered it quite a bit so it wouldn't overpower me. You guys should hear it a bit in the background. I know my voice can be low sometimes, especially now because I'm sick. I'm probably not that loud, so yeah. But pretty much, this one's Adrenaline Orb. Not relevant because it's Sword and Shield. So Air Balloon. Amulet Coin, that just sucks. There's literally no use for it in BDSP VGC. Amulet Coin basically increases the money you gain from pretty much trainer battles, but that doesn't have a use in, obviously, Pokemon battles, right? Like, what's the point? What is this berry? That's not citrus. I know citrus is further down. Huh. That's really weird, actually. And by the way, to verify the items, I'm going to have a Battle Festival double things open on our Hitmon top. And then basically I'm going to check what items are available or not, and then kind of work from there. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised because I don't know what this is. We're going to come back to that. Assault Vest doesn't exist. It is really good, though. If I could put this on a tier, I'd be putting it in, like, S or, like, A. It's, like, pretty good. This is, like, obviously S, A, you know, kind of relative to that. Berry Juice, not good. It's good in, like, little cup stuff, but it's not good in BDSP VGC or, like, doubles, you know, like, there's no use for that. Primal Orb doesn't matter. Actually, it just doesn't exist right now at all. Black Sludge, so Black Sludge is like a weird one. Black Sludge does work on the poison type Pokemon, I'd say. The thing is that it's basically leftovers but for poison types, and then if anyone else steals your item, they take damage from it, right? The main thing here though is that, like, how often are you going to be using a Black Sludge on a poison type? There aren't too many good poison types right now. That being said, I guess it does kind of fill into like one of these two tiers. I'm probably gonna put in the average tier. Like, it's not really that great because there are very few good poison types. That being said, like, obviously it's not the worst item. Like, it still gives you leftovers recovery, and it kind of opens you up if like something tries to thief you. You know, you can just kind of block it. Big Root, I'm gonna put down in average. There's like maybe a way you can make it work with like Leech Seed or like Giga Drain or something, but very unlikely that it's actually going to be relevant. If funny enough, it actually is pretty decent on Maylene's team in the actual game playthrough. She, what's it called? Pretty much like uses it under Lucario to get like more healing from Drain Punch, which is kind of cute, I guess. So, Bright Powder. Bright Powder is pretty much like in the average tier as well. I know Wolf ran it on his Garchomp for one of the tournaments that was played. It's like, I'd say it's like low reward, besides the fact like missing is obviously really good if you don't have another item to put on something, like it makes sense, but majority of the time there's like an actual higher value item you could just have on something, right? So like there's kind of no reason. I'm trying to remember the name of this. It might be Pomeg. Anyways, this is like a binding band, I think, or something. Band, is that what it's called? Yeah, binding band, and that doesn't exist in this gen, so I was double checking that. Cell battery doesn't exist, also not that great anyways. Just double checking. Okay, this is weakness policy. So weakness policy also doesn't exist in this gen. That being said though, weakness policy is probably like a A or a B tier item. I'd say A probably because it actually does have a lot of use boosting stats. The main reasoning why obviously it's not relevant here is just because, you know, in BDSP there's no weakness policy. But if it were relevant, I could see it being used on like certain Pokemon, like, let's see, Pokemon usage, Battle Festival doubles, and let's look down here. I could probably see it being used on like Tyranitar, potentially Togekiss. Some of the other Pokemon that typically like using Pokemon like that are like kind of Bulkymons. Like Metagross is a perfect weakness policy user because you could do Bulldoze Salamence next to Metagross, which is really nice. Kind of stuff like that I could see using weakness policy, right? Usually the really bulky Pokemon or like the Pokemon that can be stat dropped, like using it. But yeah, anyways. So that's pretty much it for weakness policy. If it existed, it would be in the A tier. However, it does not. So yeah, Cherry Berry, I'm gonna put in the average tier. I mean, like, okay, so blocking paralysis is nice, but then why wouldn't you just use a Lum Berry? Like, Lum is way better at its job, and you have literally zero drawback to it. So you know, it kind of makes no sense to use this over Lum Berry unless the Lum Berry is already being used on something else, which is why I'm saying average. Like, it doesn't suck because it still blocks the status, right? But it's very unlikely. I believe this is Chesto. Let me double check what the Chesto looks like. Chesto. It's not Chesto. I don't know what this one is. Because Pomeg. No, it's not Pomeg. Let me just look through the berry list so I can get an idea of this. Aspearberry. Cured if frozen. Okay, so that actually helps with this. This one I'm gonna say is, it sucks. There's no reason to use it. Paralysis is more relevant in doubles than freezes ever are, because freezes are more random, right? So like there's no reason. Let's see. I just want to look through the berries so I can kind of get acquainted with them so I don't have to keep looking through this after. Okay. A lot of berries on this list, actually. Why can I not find this? It's so annoying. We'll come back and look for this after. Choice Scarf. So Choice Scarf is one of the first items along with Choice Band that I think have a little more relevancy. So it's kind of weird right now, right? Because typically with these two items, you want them to be on Pokemon that really don't mind being locked into a move. And I feel like in this format, it's a little bit less common to have Pokemon like that than usually it is. There are really good Scarfers and there are really good Bandmons in the format, but I'd say they're a little more few and far between, right? I'm going to give Scarf a niche because there are very few Pokemon in this particular format that like using Scarf. However, you know, you'll see certain, you know, like you'll see it pop up enough to where like it is relevant, you know, it can actually do some work. I'm going to say the same with Band. The one that I think actually is good, right, is Specs. I think Specs is the most useful choice item out of all of them, just because a lot of special attackers like Specs. It's very helpful in a format like this, I think, where your special attackers are very limited to like a certain few, and a lot of them like having their power and damage boosted in a format that doesn't have particularly spectacular damage as a whole. So it kind of helps alleviate that burden, and like a lot of things like Specs, right? So for excuse me, sorry, dude, I'm telling you guys, COVID sucks. If we look at like Specs users, like Rotom Wash is like one of the first examples you'd think of. As you continue down, you'll see Latios likes using Specs. Raikou uses Specs, even though it has a bunch of other sets. You'll see a lot of Pokemon on this list that like using Choice Specs. Even like Rotom can use it. Rotom Heat can use it. As we continue down, you'll see it's the most relevant, like even Zapdos. So there are a lot of Pokemon that actually take advantage of Specs. Whereas like Scarf, if I look at the list, right, like I'm not gonna see too many Pokemon besides like Rotom maybe and Breloom that are gonna use Scarf. And then like as you go down, like not many other Pokemon want Scarf because you can have a better item, right? Typically items that compensate and boost your damage are nice. Now, in terms of Choice Band, the only reason why I don't particularly want to highlight is because like you wouldn't really run it on like Garchomp or any of these Pokemon. Tyranitar sometimes can run it, but I wouldn't say it's like the most phenomenal on it. And then as we continue down, the only Pokemon I could see using Band sometimes would maybe be like a Azumarill, maybe Mamo, but I don't think it's the best item. And then like Choice Band Snorlax is something, right? So I'm gonna maybe up Choice Band and Choice Specs. I think Scarf is niche, but yeah. Damprock is also going to go into average tier. Boosting your weather in theory is good until you realize that people are swapping weather in and out in double battles a lot. So, you know, you could set rain and have it active for 8 turns, but someone's just going to swap into Tyranitar on you or like a Sunsetter on you and just remove your weather majority of the time. And if you're in a rain versus rain matchup, having the rain versus not having the rain up usually doesn't matter because, I mean, besides maybe hitting other partners besides the rain mode, like, it's just a mirror, right? So you guys are probably going to be like the same speed tiers regardless, but besides the point. Alright, let's continue. Destiny Knot doesn't matter. I'm just gonna put all the items. If I don't recognize the item, it's likely not even relevant, so I'm just gonna put it like here. Drives don't matter. Jack Button. Jack Button's actually kind of interesting in VGC. The problem is it's not in this format, but if it was in this format, I would be putting it probably in like the niche tier, right? Because it works on certain things. I believe this is Eviolite, correct? Yeah. So this is worth discussing for a second, even though it's not in the game. If Eviolite was in the game, a lot of Pokemon that aren't normally good would be pretty good. 2 examples of this. First one being Dusclops. Dusclops would be crazy in this format, in my opinion, if Eviolite existed, because they give you actually like pretty nice options. In terms of that, besides that, there aren't too many other non-like evolved Pokemon that would be that relevant, but Eviolite would open up some cool options. Even like, excuse me, Murkrow would be kind of cool, right? Because you get the option of, you know, having that Tailwind, kind of bulky support mon, even though its defenses are otherwise not spectacular. With like Eviolite, you can actually do a little bit more with that, and you'll kind of see like there aren't too many Pokemon that I think would capitalize off of the Eviolite, but like it give like a couple new options that I think would be kind of cool, right? But yeah, obviously not in BDSP, so it doesn't matter. I believe this is the Black Belt, right? Black Belt, yeah. So Black Belt's very niche. Like anything, the boosting items kind of fit into like the niche tier because like some Pokemon like their stats being boosted. So for example, you'll notice that like plates are sometimes on stuff like Scizor or like Zapdos, or you know, the fighting types like Hitmontop. It pretty much just gives you a little bit of extra damage, but typically it's not going to do too much. XP share obviously doesn't matter in competitive, so it's not really that relevant. Focus Sash is an item I'm going to put in the good tier. I think that Focus Sash gives you a lot of good utility. Pretty much, it can work on almost any Pokemon. There are a lot of frail Pokemon in the format who enjoy having a Sash, so I definitely think it's relevant. Flame Orb is something I'm going to put in average tier. The only reason why I wouldn't put it in... I guess, no, I'll put it in niche. It's weird. It literally works on a Pokemon or two, right? Like... That's the thing, like, it's not good on anything besides, like, a few Pokemon. Like, it literally only works on, like, Hariyama and, like, other Guts Pokemon, and, like, those aren't too relevant at the moment. So, I don't think it deserves to be in the same tier as Choice Scarf, because I feel like it's literally only good on, like, one Pokemon, right? Yeah, it literally only works on, like, Hariyama, pretty much. I mean, there are other Guts Pokemon, like, Machamp, I think. And Kangaskhan can use it. You can use, like, Facade, Fake Out, Fling, but... I don't think it's particularly that great. Alright. Oval Stone, is that what it is? I think that's an Oval Stone, right? No, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Oh, it's Float Stone, that's what it is. Yeah, it's Float Stone. It doesn't matter anyways for VGC, but no one uses it anyways. What does Float Stone even do? I kind of forgot what it does. It, like... Oh, it doesn't even say. Well, you suck. Well, it's fine. It probably does something dumb. So here... For the Focus Band, in theory, it would be cool, right? Until you realize it's completely randomized and there's literally no guarantee that you're going to live a move. This item would literally only have use if, like, you were like, okay, I have a Pokemon that doesn't need any other item. I want to have a random chance of living because it can win me a game or whatever, right? But, like, yeah, it's not relevant. Gems haven't been in the game for a while, so I'm not even going to bother talking about those. Razor Claw is going to go into the average tier along with Scope Lens. Let me see if I can find that. They're the same thing. They increase critical hit ratio. They're pretty much only relevant on Togekiss or like some other gimmicky Critmon if you want them, but they're not really that great, right? So it's not too much worth talking about. Heavy duty boots don't exist in BDSP, so, you know, not worth talking about. Now, the stones, are like, you know, the rocks that, like, increase weather turns. I'm going to put them all in the same tier. Pretty much same idea. They just don't do too much. They don't really add anything or contribute anything, so kind of the same thing. Lagging Tail doesn't exist, so obviously not that relevant. Life Orb now. So now we're getting into, like, some good items as I'm kind of scrolling through. You might notice I'm skipping over some stuff. I'm going to get back to it. I'm just kind of going in terms of whatever catches my eye first. So... Life Orb is an item that I think is one of the best items because you can pretty much put it on any offensive Pokemon and it always works, right? Because you're always going to be boosting your damage, you're going to be doing strong damage. I mean, if you just even look at the list of Pokemon that are relevant, you could even name any Pokemon that use Life Orb. Garchomp uses Life Orb. I mean, Tyranitar probably doesn't, but, you know, Ludicolo likes Life Orb. Latios likes Life Orb. You can even justify Life Orb on something like Metagross, right? Even Azumarill. Life Orb on Kingdra is really good. You know, I can continue with the list. Life Orb on Mamo. Life Orb on Salamence. Like, there's so many Pokemon that put Life Orb to good use that can actually give you quite an advantage in the game. And it's definitely something worth respecting, in my opinion. That's really good. So, it's just super cool. It's a really good item, and I definitely recommend using it. Next thing I wanted to cover, because Leftovers right here. I think Leftovers is interesting, right? Because it kind of jumps between the good or the best items. I think Leftovers, for the sheer fact it works on so many bulky Pokemon, it could really take the, like, ideas like an S tier. Because, like, you have... So, like, I feel like very few items can be splashed on almost every single Pokemon, right? And, like, obviously on some Pokemon it's going to be less optimal than others, right? But, like, think of how many fringe sets for certain Pokemon exist where, like, Leftovers is relevant. So, for example, right, like, Cresselia uses Leftovers. If we look over here, right, it's its top item, right? Is that the berry that we were wondering about, by the way? That I couldn't figure out. Okay, no, it's not Chesto. I keep thinking it's Chesto for some reason. Scizor has used Leftovers before. It was on Marcus's team, right? As you continue to scroll down, even Heatran uses Leftovers in some cases. That being said, I think Shuka's better. You know, and as we continue down, I mean, literally so many things can run Leftovers on them, right? Like, you'll see, like, even 2% usage. Like, literally any Pokemon can make use of Leftovers if it's, like, the right kind of Pokemon. Like, obviously not every single Pokemon, but, like, it's such a useful item that comes up that it's, like, actually kind of worth. Like, I've even seen Leftovers, like, Calm Mind Raikou, right? And, like, it's like, it sounds weird, but it works, you know? Leftovers gives you a lot of opportunities to kind of take advantage of that stuff. It's an item that I definitely think is very good. You know, like Milotic, or like even as we continue down, you'll see like more Pokemon kind of fill that. I'm not going to obviously name every single Pokemon, but yeah, Leftovers is a great item. It works on a Pokemon, especially bulky Pokemon, so it's something that I think is super relevant and worth, you know, kind of highlighting. So, Iron Ball. Iron Ball is interesting in other formats. I think it's a little bit more relevant. Being able to have your speed is like a cool thing, but the problem is because there's very little trick Pokemon in the format. It's not, I'd say, the most phenomenal. The nice thing is it does have speed, and you could use it for certain combinations like Trick plus Iron Ball. Now, the main issue you're going to encounter when you use this, right, is that it's pretty much a one and done item, right? You're mostly always doing it with the intention to trick it away. It's actually never beneficial to have on the Pokemon you're using it on. So that's just worth keeping in mind. But that being said, it could work on a Pokemon or two. It does have some certain use, right? And if you use Fling even, it does power up the move pretty decently. I wouldn't use it for the sole purpose of Fling, but some people do that. So, who am I to judge? King's Rock, flinch item, not really that great. I mean, it does some stuff, right? But like, I want to make a tier below this actually. That's like, did I just? Oh, okay. Let me add a row below, and I'm gonna name it the, what's it called? I need to change these colors. These colors are bothering me. Anyways, I'm gonna call this the useless. Like, sucks and useless are different, right? So like, sucks means like it's pretty bad, but like it can still be used at least. Useless is straight up like, no bro, like you can't do anything with this. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that was fine. I'm gonna name this I'm gonna make this gray because it's technically not relevant, right? So useless is here. Useless is, oh my god, this is the freeze berry, right? Yeah, this is the freeze berry. I mean, I guess it's technically not useless. Berry Juice is useless. Okay. I don't know what this berry is. I'm gonna have to come back to this. Dude, there's so many. I think this is a Leppa berry. Leppa berry is not relevant in VGC, so I'm gonna say it's pretty useless. I mean, like, PP stalling's not even a thing because we have a timer, right? So you can't really do that. Battle Tower as well. Like, you're not timering something. There's no timer. So, yeah, having a Leppa berry doesn't really matter. Light Clay. So Light Clay is really good. The problem is it literally only works on like a couple Pokemon, like only a couple Pokemon. Like Raikou literally is the only Pokemon who uses it, right? So in this case, you're gonna see average. Like it literally is just on one Pokemon. I will, I'll put a niche just because it's so good at what it does that it deserves to be a niche tier, not because it works on a lot of Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like it just so crazily buff screens that it literally deserves that niche tier, in my opinion, right? So this doesn't matter. These Macho Braces, we're ignoring Megas, we're ignoring Memory Drives, but those both don't matter. Power items, so I'm actually going to put these, this might surprise some people, I'm actually going to put it in average. If you need something to have your speed on a levitating Mon or something, like if you want to do like Swagger, Cresselia, Trick Room or something, with like a slower Lumberry Pokemon, you can actually use the power items to have your speed. That being said, it is very like niche, right? But like, it is nice to have your speed without actually getting rid of your levitate or getting rid of your flying, right? So it doesn't ground you, which is really nice. Prime Orb goes here. Rocky Helmet unfortunately doesn't exist. I think if Rocky Helmet did exist, it would be really cool in this game, which is very sad. Protective Pads don't exist either. Lucky Punch doesn't matter. I guess I'll put in useless because I think it does exist. Light Ball, if you're a Pikachu fanboy, sure, but besides that, I mean, it sucks, right? I mean, like, obviously on Pikachu, it's a good use, but like, it's not that great, man, I'm gonna put the Oranberry in useless. It's just bad. The recovery's not good. It's literally worse than, the Berry Juice, so it literally has no benefit. Safety Goggles, dude, if Safety Goggles existed in this game, it would actually be so cracked because, like, Breloom would just get completely walled by, like, whatever. And like right now I think people are hella sleeping on sleep, no pun intended, because you can pretty much go for like sleep moves like crazy and it just completely like shuts stuff down, right? It's just insane. But Yeah, just kind of wild, honestly. This is far-fetched item. I'm just gonna put it as useless because no one uses far-fetched. I think this is a rare bone. It doesn't matter. I think you can get it though, so I'll put it in useless, I guess. I don't even know what is this berry. There's so many weird items I don't even know what they do. All right, I still don't know what this is. Low HP pinch berries. This is a really interesting one. Having crazy recovery, like I know, like we don't have 50% berries anymore, which kind of sucks, right? Like I would love to have 50% pinch berries. That'd be so sick. We do not, unfortunately. That being said, healing 33% in a limited format with limited items, actually pretty cool. So I do think pinch berries are actually really good. You could put it on literally any single Pokemon with like a remote amount of bulk. So I'm gonna put it in good. I don't think it's S anymore. If it's on 50% recovery, it would literally be an S tier item. Like, no doubt. It would be one of the best items in the game because the recovery would just be, like, unmatched. But because of how it's utilized and the percentage it heals back, it's gotten less good. But it is still really good in this format, in my opinion. So Lumberry. Lumberry is also another really interesting one. I'm going to also put this in good. I don't think it's S tier. What it does is really nice because obviously cures any status, right? And the reason why it's so good is honestly because safety goggles doesn't exist, right? Like that, it kind of gives you a good sleep answer. Also, too, it prevents like your stuff, like your physical attackers from getting burned. And like from getting paralyzed, whatever, you know, you don't get status, and it's a really nice item. I will say though, I don't think it's S tier, mostly because it's not used on every Pokemon. It's used on like certain physical attackers that like not getting status or burned or like, you know, paralyzed. The nice thing too about it is you can do swagger stuff, so you can like have Trick Room up and like swagger, particularly Metagross enjoys that. You can do it with Tyranitar, even Rampardos, which isn't something we see too often, but something I've looked into. But, you know, just like physical attackers like that, and just things that don't like getting burned, it kind of makes sense. I don't know what this is. It looks like it kind of looks like an alien. Weird. Mental Herb is something I'm gonna put on average, so pretty much it's very actually no, I'm gonna put niche. So basically Mental Herb is really good because there is certain taunt and like things that shut down Trick Room, less so in this format, but when it is relevant it's pretty good because you basically have a way to set up like uncontested Trick Room, right? Like a Cresselia with Mental Herb, you're not gonna be able to stop the Trick Room from going up unless you have something like Roar. So it is kind of nice. So I'll give it that. I think it does deserve the niche area. It's definitely not that bad. You can use it on pretty much any Trick Room set or like a certain Pokemon that doesn't want to get taunted, so I think it's relevant enough. I don't even know. Is this a potion? What? Oh no, this is throat spray, but I mean it doesn't matter because we can't use that. I need to put this rock back with the other rocks. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the video, by the way. If you have, make sure to support me on Patreon and just support the videos in general. I mean, I incredibly appreciate you being here this long. I know I'm a little bit sick, so my voice might be a little more annoying, but doing my best. Maybe this is throat spray. Let me look up what throat spray looks like. Throat spray. Oh yeah, that is throat spray. Okay. So I still don't know what this, bro. There are some berries that like, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's just like I feel like there's just some random berries. I have no clue what they do, and they're so not memorable that like it's like how the hell are you gonna remember what they do? It's like, bro, is this berry even on the list? Like it had to be for something. Enigma berry. I've never seen this berry before. I didn't even know this thing existed. Bro, there's so many weird berries. Tell me in the comments if you guys are at this point in the video what your favorite random berry is. Because, like, there's some ones, like, I didn't even know this shit existed. This is so weird. Huh. That's so weird. Alright, whatever. Anyways, if I don't know the berry, it's probably not that relevant. I don't know what this is. Doesn't really matter. Remember too, if I don't know an item, to be like, oh my god, Joe, you don't know that. Like, bro, I play competitive. Room service, not great in Sword and Shield anyways, but also like would definitely want to be good in this format. Actually, it might be good in this format with limited items, but the thing is like if Sword and Shield items were in the game, like it'd probably already be there. Also, I just realized this is blunder policy, still in Sword and Shield, but that means it's really shitty. It's like, weakness policy is just better. I wish weakness policy was in the game for same reasons I mentioned earlier, but you know, whatever. What is this? Dust? Is this like, I'm assuming it has like dust powder? Metal powder. Okay, this is just for Ditto then. The powders are for Ditto. That doesn't matter. It just sucks. It's not that great, right? Like, I mean, it's literally just for Ditto. Z crystals don't matter in this game. Stat raising pinch berries. Okay, so stat raising pinch berries are really interesting. They aren't that relevant in my opinion, but on certain Pokemon they can work, like Endure Pokemon. That being said, I don't think they're particularly good, and you usually see it a little more in singles with like some sweeper Pokemon. It could work on a sturdy Pokemon, but I don't see it being that particularly relevant. But it's like not bad enough where it goes into sucks tier, because like, you know, like it's general enough where it can work on a lot of Pokemon, right? This is a Pecha berry. Honestly, there's literally no reason to use like this berry. Poison isn't even that common of a status, so it's not that great. I don't think Metronome exists in this game, does it? Oh, does it? Oh, it does. Okay, so Metronome does exist in this game. So we can put that in the... It's like sucks, but like it can kind of be used. I mean, if you're spamming one move like over and over again, it could be fine, but it's probably not that relevant, right? Like I'd say Metronome is probably less useful than like a lot of these items. But that being said, I mean, we do have stuff like Big Root here, right? Like, I think it's fair. I believe this is a muscle band. So muscle band is to boost the attack. Let me double check. Muscle band, and then wise classes, right? Okay. Muscle band, because of its general use, I'm just gonna put in average. I mean, it literally just boosts physical attacks by a little bit, right? I mean, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. So we'll leave it at that. I think that's pretty fine. Power Herb, not really that relevant. I really don't see it being used that much because there's not too many things that have charging moves at this stage of the game, or like at this like format, because you know, you don't need it, you know, like Solar Beam, for example, which is a charge move. I mean, set up Sun, right? Or like, I'm trying to think of like even one charge move. Yeah, I just, like, it's average. I'm going to say it may work on a Pokemon or two, but we lost Meteor Beam, and like Meteor Beam was the main reason to use it, right? Like, does anything get Meteor Beam in this form? I don't think so. Yeah, literally nothing gets Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam was like really crazy in Sword and Shield to where it was like actually pretty good. But there's nothing that gets it, right? So it's not really relevant. All these powders are Ditto stuff, so. I don't know what this is. If I don't know what it is, probably not that useful. This is... Yeah, I don't... What are these berries, man? Alright, anyways. Quick Claw, I'm gonna put this in average tier. Same thing. I mean, it can work on a few Pokemon, but is it like really that good? Not really. You know, like it's like you could put on a Ditto, for example, right, or something like that, and it could actually like do something. You know, but besides that, I mean, I don't really see it being that used. It might look weird, by the way, that they're more good than like niche, but the thing is that like these items pretty much dominate all of the most popular mons, right? Like you very rarely see other items. The only situation where you see other items is like if you have like most of these items, or it's like a specific Pokemon that uses these items, right? Berry, I'm not gonna worry about. Red card doesn't exist in the game. This doesn't exist in the game. Oh, maybe it does exist in the game actually, but there's no shadow tag. So Shed Shell has a niche where you can use it. So you can swap out from anything. This would mostly be if you were dealing with Shadow Tag, but because there's no Shadow Tag in the game, it's pretty useless, right? Shell Bell, something I'm gonna say average. I mean, you could use it to get some recovery back from like high recoil moves or high damaging moves, but like the recovery isn't notable, and like Leftovers is just a better item in every way. You get that guaranteed recovery every single turn, and like you have to do a lot of damage to get stuff back from Shell Bell. Soothe Bell doesn't matter. I believe this is a Toxic Orb, correct? No, that's a Toxic Orb. This is a Smoke Ball. Let me double check that. Where's the Smoke Ball? Alright, Smoke Ball? There's a Smoke Ball in the game, right? I guess maybe it's not on here because it's not that relevant. I'm gonna assume this is Toxic Orb, right? Toxic Orb. It's like a little bit brighter. kind of hard to tell the difference. Okay, well, whatever it is, I'm going to assume this Toxic Orb. Toxic Orb is the same as Flame Orb. Works on like a few Pokemon, but for the most part, not that great, right? I'm going to actually check the orbs. Yeah, it looks correct. Thank you to our loyal Hitmontop, by the way, for working with us. Adamant Orb and Lustrous Orb don't matter, so those aren't relevant. Citrus. This is what I actually wanted to talk about the whole time. Citrus berries, definitely like S, or like best. It basically can work on almost any Pokemon. You'll see that through a lot of Pokemon, right? Even like bulky Pokemon. For example, Cresselia uses it. Arcanine can use it. What's it called? Rotom uses it, or can use it rather. If we continue down, Politoed uses it. Gastrodon uses it. Hitmontop uses it. Azumarill uses it. Like, so on, you know. Like, there are just so many Pokemon that make use of this item. Even Salamence can use it. Like, it's just such a good bulk item. Like, at 50% being able to heal your health back to stop a potential 2-hit KO is just such a busted item. Like, it's actually so much better than people give it credit for. Like, that's why you see it constantly on, like, high usage on a lot of Pokemon, right? Like, Zapdos, like, Citrus Berry, like, it's just so crazy. It's such a good item. I'm like really glad it's in this format. And like I said, if Pinch Berry is healed by 50%, I think it'd be right on par with like Pinch Berries, but just because Citrus Berry has a 25% healing and it heals at half, as opposed to Pinch Berry's healing 33% at like 25%, like Citrus Berry is almost always a better item in a lot of situations, right? Snowball, that doesn't matter, but it is cute. You know what? We'll give Snowball its own tier. Whoa, what? How did I write that reverse? What? I don't know what this is. Super effective damage reduction berries. These are like good, I'd say. They're actually no, yeah, I'm gonna put them in niche. So only a few Pokemon like using those kind of berries. It's usually the Pokemon with quad weaknesses, mostly being Garchomp. You'll notice Yachi's on the list, right? If we scroll down, then we'll see Scizor sometimes uses Akka, right? Quad resist. Tyranitar sometimes uses Chopley, which you'll see here. And then if we go down here, you'll see he turned to use Shuka. So resist berries are actually really good on the right Pokemon. Even Gastrodon can use Rindo sometimes, right? So Pinch berries are really good. They're not like best, and they're definitely not like, I wouldn't put them in like super good because like they're not useful on every Pokemon, right? But like there are a lot of good meta Pokemon that have quad weaknesses, so like they're niche, but they're good. You know, they have a place. Utility Umbrella is in the format. Type-based damage enhancers. So I'm going to put these in the niche tier as well. They are really good in this format. It might even worth be thinking about putting them in good. Like, they're somewhere in between both of these, right? Basically, oh yeah, I guess Black Belt's even lower now. Yeah, Black Belt's even lower because we have the type-based damage enhancers. Pretty much... Wait, no, was this Expert Belt? Oh, it's so hard to tell the difference. Okay, this was an Expert Belt. Okay, so Expert Belt then, it can go into niche, right? Because then it's like buffing super effective moves. So I think it's there. But in that case, though, if you're going to have an Expert Belt there, right? I'd probably be putting like a type-based damage enhancer there. Because it's just like all of them as a whole, like they add a lot, right? There are actually a lot of Pokemon that use it in this format, right? So for example... we can go down to, I think the first Pokemon we'll see that Scizor, Iron Plate, right? Really good. Continue down, right? We'll see it on, scroll down a bit because it's kind of like, it's only on certain Pokemon, but it's like good enough where like those Pokemon using it are really good. So it's like kind of weird. Maybe I am overrating it a little bit because now the more I think about it, I guess there are some Pokemon that don't really use it too much. I mean, like Zapdos uses it. Hitmontop uses Fist Plate. Yeah, I guess it's a little more niche than I give it credit for. All right, I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna move Expert Belt then down to average because I feel like I don't want to oversaturate like this tier, because I feel like this tier, like, I don't think this is even niche. I think it works on like a Pokemon or two. This Smoke Ball, but I don't even see it on the list. So terrain seeds suck. There's no terrains this gen, which really sucks, because it would be cool to see like certain terrains be utilized on Pokemon, but there's just none. Time Space Orbs, they're just not relevant, unfortunately. I mean, they're literally useless because no Pokemon with them exists. Is that a zoom lens? Zoom lens. It's just, yeah, I'm gonna say it's like it sucks. Like, I mean, I guess if you're moving after and having a zoom lens is like kind of cute, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't see that being that relevant, but I mean, it's not as bad as like some of these, because like, for example, like 10 HP, like that's definitely not worth, but like this at least has some value, right? There's a White Herb. White Herb is actually really good, or like good enough. I put it in useful items because like there's a lot of stat reduction VGC, right? So it kind of makes sense. Having a White Herb to do that is like kind of nice, because then you can, like, for example, Intimidate swaps in on your Garchomp, you get the White Herb off, you're back to neutral, you Earthquake, and you just do like 10 million damage, right? So, super nice option there. This one is the, not the zoom lens, it's like wide lens, so better accuracy on your moves. I'm gonna put this in the average tier. This is only really good on Pokemon that like need the accuracy boosted, but very few Pokemon actually need that, you know what I mean? I guess it's helpful for like Sleep Powder mons, but even then usually you want like Sash to compensate, because like think about it like this, right? With wide lens, you're giving yourself an 83% chance to land the move, but like if you had Sash, you have 2 opportunities to still land that Sleep Powder, and you could just land the first one and still have a Sash intact, right? Instead of using an item slot to increase your probability on the first Sleep Powder, like you're getting a better benefit out of the Sash every single time than you are out of the wide lens, right? Unless you have like some kind of damage to compensate for that. Wise Glasses I'm going to put in the same tier as Muscle Band. I mean, you do get the boost, which is nice, right? But like the other thing is too, is like there are very few Pokemon that actually need that. To whereas like a more specialized item around the Pokemon would be better, right? Like boosting all special attacks is like a cute concept, but like it'd have to be a more significant boost, I think, to like actually matter. What is this? I actually don't know what this item is. It's probably not that relevant. Anyways, so we're gonna go through what's it called, all the items individually, so I can kind of talk to you about why they're there. So you'll notice at the top, the items that are the like best items are usually the most splashable ones. They work on a lot of Pokemon, right? So for example, Leftover Citrus Life Orb, they work on pretty much every single Pokemon. You can use it, or like more so, like if all out of all 3, like you could see one of those items fitting every single Pokemon that you'd look at down the list, right? Like there's not a single Pokemon on this list that I can look at besides like maybe like Heatran and like a couple of other quad weeks that like wouldn't like one of these items, right? Or at least have some kind of niche for these items. So just a nice option. Then these items, so specs obviously a little more specialized, right? So you're not going to see it as much. Same with Choice Band, but you are boosting damage, which is really important in this format, in a format that lacks damage, right? So you're going to be able to get a little extra damage off. Sash is still really good because you're able to live pretty much any hit and give yourself 2 attacks. That's really good on a frail Pokemon as well. Then you'll see Lumberry. Status, obviously, you don't have safety goggles in this format, so that gives you less to compensate for it. So Lumberry is actually a really nice option there. And then Pitch Berries, as I mentioned, they're splashable on pretty much everything, so that's why they're really good, right? I'd actually probably put the Lumberry, and I put the Pinch Berry over the what's it called, these, and the Sash almost. So yeah, these would go over. Like I think these are like much better, and then like these 2 are fine. Specs better than Band. Then down here, you'll see pretty much there's the type-based damage enhancers. I think these are really good, especially on certain Pokemon, especially in a format where we lack certain items. Scarf is really nice as well. You're pretty much able to boost up your speed, move fast. Then you have down here, you have the, Mental Herb. Yeah, that's Mental Herb. And like that's really helpful for just preventing you from getting taunted. There's very limited taunt in the format, but that being said, like you can guaranteed get up something like Trick Room, and like that's essential to certain strategies in doubles, right? Super effective damage reduction berries. These can be splashed on a lot of different Pokemon, so they're definitely relevant, especially something like Heatran. Like this is like a make or break item, right? So they're really important to the format. If such good Pokemon, like if the best Pokemon in the format weren't using these, they'd probably be a lot lower, but because so many good Pokemon in the format use the damage reduction berries, I think they warrant the spot up there. White Herb's really good. It only fits a certain Pokemon, but it's really nice for blocking Intimidate, especially in a format where we have less options to deal with that. And then Light Clay is obviously really nice, but obviously the main Pokemon that's going to be using it is Raikou or maybe a random Aurora Veil, but like mostly Raikou. And yeah, down here, I'm not going to get into these items too much. They just have like a bit of a niche use, you know, like they only work on like 1 or 2 Pokemon, for example, the Orbs. And then, you know, these aren't great, but yeah, hopefully that was a good list for you guys. Hopefully you guys understand kind of the logic behind all of it. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys again for supporting the video. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. There should hopefully be an upload tomorrow, but yeah, once again, guys, thank you for support. I might be streaming later. I have to see. So if you guys don't get this video, maybe tune into Twitch. Maybe I'll be streaming. If not, follow it anyways. Make sure to support the Patreon. Thank you guys again. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.